Hello everyone and welcome to Let's Play SimCity. On this episode, we are going to, hold on a second, I need to reload this and that. And then there we go, let me reset. Hello everyone and welcome to Let's Play SimCity. On this episode, we are going to start the scenarios. Of course here we got start new city and practice and resume save city. But we don't want to do any of that. We actually want to select a scenario now. So, let us begin. We've got 6 scenarios here to choose from, but we're going to start off in chronological order. I actually lied to you by accident, really. These aren't in order of difficulty, supposedly. But, you know, hey, we'll see what happens. So, let's go with San Francisco 1906. Alright, interesting. So we got an earthquake that's going to happen. And we've got to figure out some way of preventing the fires that are going to happen from this earthquake and all of that fun stuff. So, first let's kind of look at the city here. It is kind of helter-skelter and scattershot. We've got kind of zones that don't make a lot of sense in terms of their location. So what I'm going to do is, I'm actually going to bulldoze a little bit of this bottom half. And the reason I'm going to do that is because I would like to have a bit of an open area here. And plus, it's going to reduce the area of the city that I need to put in fire departments. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. And I may speed through some of this. Okay, we've reduced the size of this city a fair bit, and one of the things I wanted to mention is on each of these levels, each of these scenarios rather, the difficulty is pretty much on hard mode. So tax revenue is not going to be as high as it should be, and I should have put a police department there, so I wasted a little bit of money, but we'll be okay. But like I was saying, the tax revenue is not going to be as high as we'd like it to be, so that's going to be an issue. We're not going to have as much money as, you know, as it would be nice to have. So don't expect to get a whole bunch of money from anything, especially if you only have 5 years to really build up your city. So you really have to do whatever you can with the $20,000 that you get in the beginning. Even though you get $20,000, it's still kind of hard mode, I find. Or at least the tax revenues don't seem as high as they should be. So let's go ahead and put some more fire departments up around here. This is a good location. And this is a good location. We can just pepper them anywhere, just about. Yes, I know, crime warning. There are going to be other problems with the city as well. So we're just going to have to deal with them as we deal with them. And I'm going to put another fire department here, and probably one up. I think that covers that area. Let's put one over here. And one down here would be nice. Okay, and maybe, let's see, one down here would be nice too. You don't have to put them everywhere, just kind of cover them as much as you can. This area doesn't have much fire protection in the middle, so maybe one more, I think. Where would be a good location? Where would a location be for this? I'm gonna just put it right here, because I'd like to make sure those guys are as high as they can be. So anyways, now that we got that set up, let's speed it ahead and deal with the earthquake. So, hold on a second, we'll do that. Okay, so we got the earthquake, major fires burning out of control, all the fun stuff. So, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pause it. And pausing in the scenarios is actually more important than you'd think. In the scenarios, by the way, I'm going to try to do them as much as possible without cheating. I'm not going to use the money code at all. And the money code, for those of you who know what it is, I may discuss what that is in another episode in the future. I'm not sure yet, but I'm not going to cheat in this. As much as I can, I'm not going to cheat. But first of all, let's go ahead and get rid of all these fires. we got a fire here, so let's go ahead and take care of that. And these fires will slowly put out of control, or get out of control, or whatever, if you're not careful. So I like to keep a little eye on that. We lost a seaport, but you know what? We'll be okay. And we lost an industrial zone there. Bulldoze around the fires as much as possible, and they shouldn't spread. And I'm going to put a fire department down here, just to kind of protect that a little bit. If there's a gaping hole in fire coverage, you might want to figure something out there. We got a little lucky with the fire so far. Fire down here. Another thing we're going to have to worry about too is the power grid. Ooh, there's a big one. Big fire. Yeah, definitely get rid of all of that because, yeah, I'm going to put another fire department down here just to kind of, I can zone stack there, and that might be okay. Let's see. There's a fire there. Actually, if we put a fire department right here, that will probably stop that fire. I'm not sure, but we'll find out. We have to really act fast with this. And by the way, if you aren't researching your history or anything, the San Francisco fire 1906 was actually between, I believe, 7.8 and 8.25. It was actually on April 18th, 1906. If you weren't aware of that, so, you know, there's a little bit of history for you. It's kind of interesting, I think. And it was one of the most devastating earthquakes in American history. And it was much stronger than the '89 Loma Prieta earthquake, which happened in October of 1989, I believe it was, during the World Series. And I forget who was playing. I think it was the... I'd have to look that up. I lived through it, but I don't remember who was playing at the time, so... And then the World Series, so... let's see... We got this, and that, and that. I'm going to try to hope that that helps that. We can probably get rid of that. I'm going to try to redo this power line here. Hopefully that fire will stop there. So what we're going to have to do is kind of watch out for these fires, but in the meantime, I am going to redo this, I said redo this line down here, and we're going to kind of set up a new industrial zone, simply because we're going to need a really big boost in population to get this city to grow. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. And try to keep some money left, but use up all the money you can, because unless you're lucky, you're not going to get much in the way of revenue, I find. And maybe how these cities are set up in terms of all of the waste and fire departments and things like that, but, you know. And I'm going to leave about 2,000 left, if I can. Well, $2,000 left, that is. Let's put some power lines through here. There we go. And we need to join it up somehow. I know. These cities aren't going to look very pretty, but they'll work. They will work. I'm going to put in just a couple more industrial zones. Another thing that I find with these scenarios is that if you can get the population much higher than it was in the beginning, and you've solved the original problem, like the fires or whatever, and that doesn't show up in your list of problems, then usually you'll be okay. Usually. But I'd watch out for that. Sometimes it's trial and error in order to get the scenarios to work properly. Sometimes it isn't, so... I'm going to leave a hole here for police department. And it was a metropolis, again, when we started, but... Another thing is we're going to have to really worry about the power grid as well. So, keep an eye on that as much as you can. Okay, we got another row here for another set of residential zones, but I'm going to save a little bit of money towards the end, because if we're not careful, we're going to run out of money. So I'm going to speed it up just a little bit and try to watch with these fires too. So it's still March. The earthquake actually happened in April, but they don't give the earthquake all to you initially, like in the first minute, of course, because they give you time to set up fire departments, which is nice. So, all right, let's see what happens to these fires. Hopefully, I get lucky. We'll see. Okay, I'm gonna pause it for a little bit. We may lose a power plant here. I don't know. Fire department here, we may lose that. I don't know. Let's see here. Most of the fires seemed like they're being put out. There's a fire here. I'm just gonna go ahead and delete this whole area. You have to be really cautious with the fires. Let's see how the other fires are doing. This one doesn't seem to have any power to it. That should fix that. So that should be okay, and these zones are developing down here, so that's going to boost my population a bit. And that zone doesn't have any power anymore. Also look for the power grid. Because if you have power outages everywhere, nobody's going to like you. So you really should watch out for that. There should be power here, but it doesn't look like it's really connecting up. Okay. Okay, this one doesn't look like it has power to it. Be liberal with your usage of usage of power plants, or power lines, rather. So hopefully this ought to help it a little bit. Let's go to June and see what happens. Okay, that fire's about to be put out. July, I think most of the fires are now put out. That fire's put out. The only problem we have now is this fire over here. But we can easily put that out, so... There we go. And we need to connect this up with power somehow. And this zone needs power too. You know, I think we're done with that, so I think it's now time to increase our residential zones a little bit. Excuse me. Okay, I think we're good there. I think we're good there. The only other fire I see is that one down here, and that should take care of itself, so. It's got $1,200 left. What I want to do now is start deleting these fire departments that are everywhere, because they're going to eat up our budget. So I'm going to start getting rid of them. And this will enable me to go through here and try to restore power somewhat. I'm sorry if there's a slowdown here. I don't know what's going on. Apparently, yeah, I may have to just reboot later, but I don't feel like doing that right now. Make sure these zones are connected up with power. This has power, those do not, so... Yeah. We don't have much time in this. We only have 5 years, but I think we'll be okay. That definitely needs power. Let's get rid of these extra additional fire departments, though. Because each one you have, I believe, is going to eat up into your budget. So, you might as well just get rid of them. And it doesn't have to look pretty, either. But watch out for your, budget, and watch out for your power. I just said that over and over, didn't I? I'm an idiot. Alright, let's see, we got another fire department here. Another one here. I'm gonna leave one there. And, let me bulldoze. Maybe another one, I don't know. I got one down there. I'm gonna leave a couple. But if you put like 20 of them there, it's gonna really destroy your budget. So let's see what happens with the speed. Okay, September, everything looks like the power is back on except for one zone down here, which we need to fix. And it doesn't have to look pretty. Don't worry about that. If we cheated with the money, then sure, we could probably... Oh, geez, that's a whole section that's bad. So that ought to restore the power there. Possibly. See, the problem is this power grid is terrible. And that should fix that, and that should fix that. And that should fix that. And there's also another bug, which means that if, I think I mentioned that before, if you reload a saved game, then all the power will be off for your entire city, and it has to wait like a month before the power can come back, and that can really screw you up. So in these scenarios, I would recommend not saving the game, using the file save. Now, if you're using an emulator and save states, then go ahead. But, yeah. Okay, I think we got most of the power outages out. Let me double check. The power looks like it's being restored. Right here looks like it's being a problem. So that needs to be restored. Yeah, you're just gonna have to go piecemeal through this. Be meticulous, too. Why is that not... I mean, there's power there. I don't know. Sometimes the algorithm's screwy. Like right here, there's power here, but it's just not showing up for whatever reason, so I'm just gonna do that. It won't be pretty, but it will work. I'm gonna look at the tax screen real quick. That'll give us some idea on the... yeah, we're not gonna see that until next year, sorry. Okay, so our population's increasing again. We could probably put some more industrial zones in spots, but we're gonna be running out of money soon, so... I'm just gonna put just 1 or 2 more zones here. Yeah. That's gonna work, because there's roads there. And like this, for example, I have no clue why that power didn't show up there, but there you go. Alright, good deal. Ah, there's brownouts everywhere. Yeah, you're just gonna have to deal with them, unless we get the money for it. And by the way, we don't have the bank, so... yeah. Let me see if there's a power plant that didn't get hooked up into the power. Oh, well, are we alright? So anyways, we're out of money now, so... but once the population grows, we should be okay. Yeah. Alright, so I'm gonna wait a little bit and get the population up a bit, so... we'll see what happens. Okay, that's good. Now we can fund everything. So now that everything's getting funded, people will start to move in. So we do need another power plant, but, you know, we're going to be okay, I think. We could delete some of the residential zones that aren't developing, but, you know, we'll be alright. Okay, let's see what happens. Okay, we're getting some money now. We've got a positive cash flow. That's a good thing, so... okay, let's take a look at the voice. I find that the voice isn't as important as long as you meet the goals, so I'm not 100% sure we're going to be able to fix everything, but, you know, we're going to find out, so. We need another power plant desperately. Oh, and there's not a little thing here. We need to hook that up to some power. And it says commerce requires an airport, but we don't have the money for that, so do not worry. You know, don't worry about the airport. We can't do anything about that. A zone should start to be developing here, but they're not, so... we just need some power, but we don't have the money for that, so... yeah, we'll be alright. We'll see if we pass or fail, so maybe cutting it close, I don't know. I just want to do this legitimately. Alright, let's see what happens. Alright, we won the scenario there, so there you go. Alright, so that takes care of San Francisco, so thank you so much for watching. On the next episode, we'll probably take care of Bern. Hopefully we won't get burned. So thanks again and have a good day. Bye.